Good morning. All right, this is day 2 of trying the chicken, broccoli, and potato and carrot 30-day challenge. And so I've done 24 hours of it. And so interesting. There's just like so much that comes up. I noticed how frequently during my workday I was bored or frustrated and about to start a new task, and I was just like, you just feel this little tug towards, a treat or a snack or something. You just want something to get through the next thing you have to do. So that was really good information and like not surprising, given that, with this very busy work period in the past month, I've been essentially bribing myself with chocolate and pizza to do these long, arduous, very detailed tasks, reviewing big, complicated budgets, with 1,500 lines of activities. So it's last year was even worse. We had to do, reviews of work plans that were like 120 pages. So at least we don't have to do those this year. We just are doing the activity matrices and the budget, but still big, huge amount of work. I'm doing this for 4 countries, so it's just a lot of looking at a screen and an Excel spreadsheet for hours and hours. So it wasn't surprising, but it was really eye-opening, like how many times in a day I get that tug to sort of avoid my life. And I do think there's like a lot of emotions that I just don't want to feel. And so I go to food as a way to change my state without having to like deal with the emotion or feel the emotion. So we'll see how this goes. Overall, though, the day was not hard. I was not hungry at all. And I did not eat the full amount of food that I had prepared for the day. So I just didn't want it. The potatoes are great. I really enjoy. I just made it very boring. I can like do more interesting potato preparation later in the 30-day challenge when I'm bored of just plain potatoes, but I don't like just bite into a potato regularly. So I just boiled a bunch of potatoes on Sunday and literally put the whole thing in my lunch. So, and I just had, salt. So just bit straight into the potato, a little bit of salt biting into the potato. There is something very kinesthetically satisfying about having like a whole potato in your hand and just biting into it. It feels very not like I'm on a diet. So that really helps me not feel like I'm depriving myself. And I have this automatic, very strong reaction to deprivation. I just will rebel. I just don't do deprivation very well. So, what else? Meat was great. I did not cook the chicken well, and I just I'm gonna have to deal with that this week. It's edible. It's not tasty. I think next week what I'll do is I'll like buy the chicken, pound it so it's flat, and then freeze it. And then I'll cook it in smaller batches, because I can make a really delicious chicken breast cooked if you pan cook it from frozen. So delicious, so juicy. So that's what I'll do next week. This week we're just gonna eat kind of over baked chicken. I don't know why it didn't end up juicy, but that's fine. I'm certainly eating less of it because it's not as good as my normal chicken. What else? The broccoli and the carrots. I didn't even eat any carrots yesterday because I just like couldn't get there. I was already full. So I might try eating with the vegetables first, the carrots and the broccoli, even just a little bit before I get to the chicken and the potatoes. But that's fine. Like, I think I'll probably get bored at some point, so I can switch over to the carrots. And maybe I can make some sort of dessert. Like if I want something sweet, maybe I can have the carrots take that function. We'll see. So for breakfast I made something that looked like what I normally make, which is kind of a scramble. Normally I would use an egg whites, ground turkey, like the 96.4 ground turkey, and a vegetable, broccoli, zucchini. That's usually what I make. I'll prep the vegetables ahead, and then so I'll have like 3 days of sauteed zucchini, and I can just put 1/3 of it into the pan, heat that up, add the meat, then add the eggs and the egg whites, cook that up, and I usually eat it with sauerkraut or kimchi and hot sauce. So it was not a big shift to go. I just had the broccoli, I had the meat, and then I just had like fork mashed a whole potato with the skins in there, and I put that all in the pan, and the potatoes kind of looked like they're just sort of the same color as an egg, so it felt very familiar to eat that breakfast, which also is something I think that's really important for me, is to not like not have so many changes that I don't want to stick with it. So keeping my morning coffee with my half and half, that routine, that ritual, it's a decaf coffee, that feels important. So I'm not like unmoored. I don't lose my rituals. And keeping my decaf latte when I get to the coffee shop to work, it's also like a focus ritual for me. And it makes me feel like rich and luxurious, like the whole milk, the fat in the milk, and the like bitterness of the espresso. There's something about that combination that just feels like pure luxury to me. So again, not feeling deprived. Very, very helpful, but like critical for me to turn off a part of my brain that's like seeking. And that I do have that part of my brain seeking for treats or snacks or like motivation. But I have these two rooted, habitual routines and rituals that help me not feel unmoored in this, 30 days of changing everything else about what I'm eating. So I find that to be helpful. I did not finish my breakfast. It's a lot of food. It is a lot of food. I don't know if maybe ChatGPT overestimated the portion sizes on the vegetables and the potatoes. I am tracking the meat because I want to make sure I'm getting enough protein, so I don't lose muscle. So I did not finish the breakfast, and I ate a lot. It was like 2 platefuls. I kept what was left, and then I ate that for a snack. It was lunch. I ate it at lunchtime. And then I went to the coffee shop late today because I had to stay at the house for an air conditioning technician to come out and check out the air conditioning. It needs to be replaced, but it's under warranty, so that's good. So when I got to the coffee shop, it was about lunchtime. Had my coffee. I brought my lunch that I had packed with me. I ate that a little bit later, and I also just couldn't finish it. It was chicken breast, potatoes, carrots, and broccoli. I brought all of it. I did not even get to the carrots. When I got home around like 4, I had kind of I was working on a submission that was due, and I just needed some pieces from the team. So I was calling the team, asking for the information. I was also sort of pitching in and getting some of the budget figures to put in the matrix. And yeah, around 4 or 5, I ate what was left of my packed lunch, except for the carrots. My daughter ate the carrots. She had some of my potato too, but that was fun to just sit with her on the couch, my stupid laptop, working, and at least getting to be next to her and share food with her. Then we had like family dinner. My brother, my dad had cooked it. So he cooked food for everybody, and I just heated up my dinner. They were actually having mashed potatoes and hamburgers, and so my dinner wasn't that far off. I mashed up a potato and mixed in the ground turkey with it, and I didn't eat any broccoli or carrots. I just wasn't feeling either of them, but I was feeling the mashed potatoes. So I could not finish the whole portion size. I ate about 75% of it. And I'm like a person who does not leave food on my plate. I do not do that. Like I like the completion feeling of getting everything on my plate. I feel like I'm missing out if I don't eat all of it. So that means I was having like major satiety signals, and like couldn't eat more. So that was like a great sign for me, just to like be listening to my body. I was enjoying the food. I had it with hot sauce. I'm a big fan of Cholula, but there's lots of hot sauces I like. But I have Cholula every day. So it was nice to just like feel full and be really enjoying the flavor of my food. It wasn't a boring food to eat. It was day one, right? But to just not want to eat anymore, to really feel that like, nope, don't want to put any more in my mouth, and I can eat it. I'll have that today. So I got not quite all of my planned protein for the day, but I'm eating like 170, 180 grams of protein a day. So it's a lot. again, I'm 5'9.5", so I am a tall person and I do need a lot of protein. But if I get 160 or 150, I think that's fine for today. But I did want to be tracking where I was on the protein, because I don't want to go through all of this effort and come out on the other side with like less, losing significant muscle. I'm 42. I need to preserve my muscle. I work really hard to build my muscle. I eat to build muscle. So that's the last thing I want, is to like finish this with maybe some fat loss, but like a lot of muscle loss. So what else? There was something else. I woke up hungry. That was good. So that's like a sign. Oh yeah. The whole point of this challenge is to not be tracking every, calorie and macro. And this is such a mind warp. This just shows like how silly our little brains are. I will track in like MyFitnessPal, but if I see that I'm not gonna win the day, like I'm gonna go over on my calories or certain macros, not gonna get it right, I want to stop tracking. I have this very strong like perfectionism that comes up in the tracking. And there was a time where my subscription had expired, and instead I was just telling ChatGPT what I had eaten throughout the day, and Chat would like give me a general idea, but it didn't elicit this perfectionism response, because it would just say, it wouldn't give me all the granular detail, and it could tell me calorically where I was, and it could say you're in the right neighborhood, rather than like this is the exact number of grams of fat you've had today. So I recently resubscribed to MyFitnessPal, and there was a period of time where I did track everything, and that was really beneficial because I could see before I could not see. There is a way, like I would pre-input the meals I knew I was having. Like breakfast is usually always the same. I usually get the coffee. If I've packed my lunch, I can put that in. So then I know like what's left for dinner, even if I don't know what dinner is yet. And if I wanted to get a chocolate, I could put it in there and then reorganize the meal, like food for the rest of the day, to still hit my macros. So that was a really important thing to learn, was I could fit a treat in and still be good. That didn't derail my whole day. And I knew that logically, I knew that in my brain, but seeing it work out mathematically in MyFitnessPal really changed how I felt about the chocolate. Like it was no longer me failing. It was just a part of the day that I could account for and plan for and make it work. That was great. Then when things got super busy with the pizzas, and like then it was just like my day was totally ruined. I had my normal, like up until noon, routine foods. They were all good. And then I was like, I'm not going to finish my work today. I need to work late. So I'm going to bribe myself to do this work I don't want to do by going to a restaurant and getting pizza. And I did that like 3 nights in the span of a week, because of how busy it was and how much I didn't want to do the work. And how mad I was that I had to work in the evenings. I didn't sign up for this, and I could just not do it. That's a possibility. But I work in a sector that just got totally decimated, and I'm super duper lucky to have a job at all. I have so many friends who don't have jobs right now. I work in international development, and I just need to have a better attitude in general. This is like my job security. So I just need to make this investment of time so that I have a job for another year, and I'm not one of thousands and thousands of people who highly qualified, lots of experience, no jobs for them. I have 2 kids. This is not having a job right now is not an option. So on those nights when I just ate the pizza and I'm like 1 billion, trillion, thousand, million calories over, you're just like, well, I give up, right? I give up. I can't win. So bad things happening in MyFitnessPal for me emotionally. And it just really, I don't think of myself as a perfectionist. I think of myself as like a fun, free-spirited person. But there is perfectionism lurking inside when FitnessPal is open. So the point of this challenge is to not track, right? But I am tracking because of 2 things. One, I'm winning. So yesterday, eating all that I could, eating to satiety, not being able to finish everything, I was like at a 400 or 500 calorie deficit for the day. So I'm winning. Haha. I got to get that recorded in MyFitnessPal for my own posterity. I'm doing it. I'm eating at a deficit. Finally. Been trying and failing. But today, I did it. So that's not great, but it is what it is. I wanted to track for yesterday to make sure that I was getting enough protein, and it's good. It could be a little bit higher, but it's okay. The second reason is I put a lot of work in on the front end of weighing everything. I put it in my recipes. So I weighed the whole quantity of potatoes that I was cooking. And then I, with ChatGPT, determined the number of servings. So you put in the recipe, the number of servings, and the ingredients. And then it's very easy for me in MyFitnessPal to just click the button 1 serving, because I've already pre-portioned everything out. So 1 serving potatoes, 1 serving of turkey, or 1 serving of chicken breast. So it's just, I don't even have to weigh anything anymore. It's all done. So inputting it is easy. One of the reasons why I don't succeed at inputting everything in MyFitnessPal is because it's onerous to try to get everything input. If you're eating the same kinds of foods generally, over time it gets easy. So inputting my breakfast, lunch, that's easy. But I found it was difficult in the past. I'm starving. I'm not going to weigh my food before I eat it. I'm just going to shove it in my face. So, given that I pre-populated everything and went to all of that work to calculate, it was a lot. Weigh the food, cook the food, weigh the food again, divide the weight by the number of servings, then portion that out into containers and put it in the fridge. If I do this, next week should be easier than this week. But it was annoying, and I find that stuff super frustrating. But I wanted to invest that time to be able to do it, to make my life easy, and that has been successful. So I might, I still think I will get the benefit of more intuitive eating, meaning checking the satiety cues better, hearing the satiety cues better. But I might also track because it means I'm winning and it's easy to do. We'll see. Maybe I'll get bored of tracking after a while, but it's so stupid. But like winning, the gamification of inputting my food into my fitness pal and being able to win, it feels so good. It's so stupid. And I'm like, and it feels so good. And I might just keep doing it. I have listened to a number of YouTube videos over the past year, and more frequently in the past month again, on emotions and when we want to do things like eat chocolate, eat a pizza, grab another coffee. It's really like an action that we're taking because we don't want to feel some uncomfortable emotion. And just sitting with the emotion for a little bit, just literally being there in the emotion, with the emotion, without judgment, without trying to stop it, and then asking, what are you projecting, or what's going on, and listening and just loving that part of yourself. I've been listening to a lot of YouTube videos about it, but I haven't been doing it. And I feel like this 30-day challenge is an opportunity to sit with some uncomfortable feelings when I want to have a snack and finding out what's really going on. And when I started thinking about that yesterday afternoon, I was like, I'm going to quit my job. If I sit with all this emotion, I'm mad that I have to sit in front of a screen for so many hours every day. I'm mad. It takes away from my agency. It really harms my body. I'm a person who needs to move. I need to dance and express myself and stretch and I don't know. I'm a theater kid, and it just feels so soul-sucking to sit or stand. I do a lot of standing in front of a screen for so many hours. It's just so unnatural. It's so it's like a crime against my body. And so I think this snack seeking is a way to assuage my body's anger at me for having such a lame existence, wasting so many hours of the day frozen in the same spot. So I think there's going to be hard emotions coming up. Obviously, I'm not going to quit my job, but it might help me to find avenues to be with my body and respect the needs of my body while still doing my workday. So I'll keep you up to date on how that goes. As far as the identity that I talked about yesterday, being in the identity of somebody who already eats this way and who enjoys it. I did really enjoy eating that way yesterday. Again, it's day one, so like there's no boredom. But there was just something, like a feeling of relief, that every time I'm like, oh, I want something, I need a little something. It was just like, nope, not today. There's relief in not having to listen to that voice and negotiate with that all day long. There's a lot of negotiating that I do all day long. I'm gonna eat some chocolate. I'm gonna have like a unhealthy protein bar that my dad has at his house. Ooh, does he have any chips in his cupboard? So as much as like I want to do those things, I do simultaneously feel just relieved that I don't have to deal with the chatter. So we'll see how today goes, but feeling good, have my coffee, about to go have breakfast. Yum, yum, yum.